Greetings. Today we will be talking about a terrible mystery, the Hinterkaifeck murders. One of, if not the most gruesome case of unsolved murder in Germany's history. For over 100 years, the case of the Gruber family remained unsolved. What actually happened? Who was the killer? And why did the family get killed in the first place? Today, all of those questions and some more get answered. Welcome to the first ever episode of the Unsolved Files. April 4th, 1922. The bodies of the Gruber family members along with the maid are discovered, with skulls caved in and multiple stab wounds everywhere on the bodies. Authorities theorize that the weapon which was used to kill the Gruber family was a mattock. A mattock is a tool used in agriculture for digging and prying. Soon, police could rule out a number of motives, mainly robbery, due to the fact that a large sum of cash was found sitting in the middle of the living room. In the days leading up to their deaths, the Gruber family experienced a number of phenomena that could only be described with two words: utterly terrifying. Or at least it was, to them. You see, all the way back in the winter of 1921, the Gruber family's previous maid alleged that she had been hearing strange sounds coming from the attic and inside the walls, like footsteps and tapping. This scared her so much that she ended up leaving. Not having someone do most of the work increased it for the family tremendously, and so they started looking for a new maid. But they didn't find anyone for a long time. In the months leading up to the family's deaths, they noticed multiple activities taking place, which utterly terrified the family. On one occasion, they noticed that the log of their shed was basically obliterated, which indicated that someone tried to break into it. On another occasion, Andreas, the head of the family, noticed a set of footprints in the snow at the back door, coming from the woods towards that back door. However, there weren't any footprints going back. Let's fast forward a bit to March 31st, the day which would see the lives of the Gruber family ending abruptly. That day they finally found a new maid, and her sister drove her to the Gruber family's residence. Little did she know that she would be the last known person to see those 6 people alive. That evening, Andreas, Cecilia, Victoria, the other Cecilia, would get lured into the barn by alleged screaming, and they would have their heads smashed in by someone wielding a mattock, one by one. The killers would then go into the main home and kill Maria, the maid, and Josef, Victoria's other child. At the time, many people were blamed for this horrendous act, including their neighbor, Lorenz. The thing about Lorenz was that he was alleged to have a relationship with Victoria. Rumors also stated that Lorenz not only had a relationship with Victoria, but also that he was the father of Josef. At first, Lorenz denied having any involvement in the Gruber family, but he then caved and said that he would accept Josef as one of his children. Another thing to note is that Lorenz and Andreas had a deep hatred towards each other. Andreas hated Lorenz because, well, he was in a relationship with Victoria, Andreas' daughter, and Lorenz hated Andreas because Andreas was allegedly assaulting Victoria, aka incest was occurring right next to Lorenz's residence. The reason why people think that the killer is Lorenz
is because he knew that if the Gruber family died, he would inherit the farm due to being the possibly illegitimate father of one of Victoria's children. The fact that Lorenz had a key to the house also supports the theory that Lorenz and Victoria were in a relationship. When the bodies were discovered, Lorenz, despite not knowing whether or not the killers were still inside, entered the house alone with the key he had obtained. Much later, after the farm's demolishment, a local teacher noticed Lorenz standing near the memorial which was at the site. Lorenz told the teacher that the killers tried to bury the bodies, but couldn't due to the ground's hardness because of the late winter conditions. Many people say that Lorenz was the killer because of the things I just stated, and I stand by them, but these aren't the only explanations I have. First, let's start with the motive. It wasn't robbery, or at least not directly, because of the large sum of cash found in the home. I suspect that Lorenz killed the family out of hatred towards Andreas, and because he knew that he would become the sole owner of the farm if none of the family members were left to inherit it. Because of this, I also do not believe that the relationship between Lorenz and Victoria was serious, at least not from Lorenz's side. Because Lorenz thought he would become the owner of the farm, after the case became cold, he left everything there as he knew he would come back for it later. I also suspect that Lorenz was accompanied by at least one more person. I say this because of statements made by police at the scene. They stated that, quote, meals were cooked and eaten in the kitchen, the entire bread supply was consumed, and that meat had been recently cut from the pantry. Now here, it is interesting to note that the entire bread supply was consumed. Normally, one person wasn't able to eat an entire bread supply, which consists typically of 4 to 5 loaves. Now, I also have to make one other thing clear. There are a lot of people that think that something not human killed the family, but we also have to look at the evidence. The bodies were found, and they were found intact. No animal leaves its food intact. Also, we're men of science and facts, not conspiracy. It is only a last resort and should not be the first thing we think of. And there you have it, the solution to the century-old mystery. Lorenz, along with one or more helpers, out of hatred and knowing he would gain positively from it, killed the family, thinking that after the case would go cold, he would be able to move it to the farm without problem. However, his plan was cut short due to the farm being demolished.